All right. Well, if I drop off, you guys can chime in and just start talking until I get back. I don't know what's going on or what would cause that, but hey, it is what it is. Well, good to see everybody. You ready to do this? So first things first, well, I want to talk to everyone about, I like to start with the market, what's going on. It's totally nuts. It's just crazy. Is it still what everyone's experiencing? I want to hear from some of you guys. What are you experiencing lately on your listings, on writing offers? What is the latest?
You want me to go, Brent?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so I put a 250 condo on, in Citrus Heights. Not in the best neighborhood, $400 a month HOA, kind of tricky. 50 showings in 3 days. People from the Bay Area with 5 kids begging to move there. It's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, just so their kids can have a little balcony to play on. Like, people were on fire, and we overpriced it by $30,000, which is a lot, in that price range. So that is, that range is just off the hook. And then I just put one on in Sun City, Lincoln.
Hey, time out. One sec, time out. Everybody unmute yourself. If it's quiet where you are, unmute yourself. I want this to be really interactive today. Because if it takes you a second to hit the mute button. So if you can, if it's quiet where you are, unmute your mics, because I want you to jump in at will, ask questions. Go ahead, Sun City, Lincoln, what's going on?
Okay, so I just put that sign out front, for a couple of days. Already just started getting tons of calls, already had one offer before it even hit the market, and we overpriced that too. Normally, I would kind of like to go a little below value just to create like a crazy surge of energy.
You don't even need to do it.
Gosh, you don't even need to do that now. And
how much was that one in Sun City?
That one was $595.
So it wasn't like a little 250, and same thing, totally nuts.
Totally nuts. We just put one on Citrus Heights for $469. 5 offers, ended up at $510 with 20 grand guaranteed over the appraised value.
Yeah, but that's Citrus Heights. Everybody wants to live in Citrus Heights. Come on, man.
When did Citrus Heights start costing $500,000?
Hey, Britt, knock your gang signs off. You live in your other house is in Ambler.
Look like an idiot, man. I don't know, like a baseball pitcher. Anyways, so it doesn't even matter where these homes are. They are going nuts. They're hot potatoes. I saw a great meme on Facebook. You guys probably saw it too. So you're wondering what the real estate market's like. Do you remember when everyone ran out of toilet paper? Like that, right? Isn't that pretty good? It made me laugh because the toilet paper was a serious deal. Anyways, all right. So John Jennings, Barry, who else wants to check in? Missy, anybody else want to who has listings, or maybe you're working with buyers? Fire away. I want to hear from you some of your experiences with your listings or writing offers. Maybe on the buyer side. Anybody want to chime in?
I have a question. So for the listing agents that are getting so much over, are they having issues with appraisals, or are people coming in with cash?
Go ahead, Barry and Darcy and John. Who wants to chime in on that?
So what I'm seeing a lot of is people writing in that they'll support the appraisal. So they'll subsidize the appraisal. They call it an appraisal buffer. And so if you're writing an offer, a lot of these guys, I just had a guy, never had this happen my entire career. I wrote an offer at the house was listed at 425. I wrote it at 460 so we could get it. And the guy came back and said, that's too high. I'm going to accept it, but I'll only accept it if you drop the price down to 445. But a lot of times what I'm seeing is the offers that I'm writing, I'm getting a counter offer that says everybody else in the offer put in an appraisal buffer. So they want to say, the offer's 450, and if it only appraises at 440, we'll give you 10 grand to make up the difference. And so that's how we're dealing with a lot of that.
Yeah, so if they either remove the appraisal contingency entirely, or they'll say, hey, I'll be willing to give X amount of dollars above the appraised value.
I like to hold them to that too, because they can still kind of skate out on the loan contingency. So I like to kind of just lay it out there, but like, who's going to put the money where they say, how much can you give us? And then it makes the seller feel all excited. I'm getting 20 grand over.
True. And one thing you want to do is they say, yeah, I can pay over the appraised value. So if this thing comes in 40,000 under, you can pay the difference. Yes. Great. Send me proof of funds. That's the next level. People will tell you anything. They don't have the money. Well, we can't get that. Well, how are you going to pay 40,000 over the appraised value if you can't show us you have 40,000 in a stock account or in savings or checking savings in stock? There's got to be something that adds up to buy it down that's savvy. Because people will tell you anything to get the deal. So good. Anybody else?
Yeah, let me go one step beyond that, Brent, if you don't mind. There is no such thing in the state of California as a non-refundable deposit. So if you call it a security deposit, there's pretty good chances, no matter what you say in that contract, that they can get that money back. Okay. However, liquidated damages are a different story. And so you can do an addendum to call a portion of your security deposit liquidated damages. Liquidated damages basically says that if you cancel this transaction, we have agreed, both parties, that $2,500 is the value of the trouble of having to go to relist this property and put it back on the market. And so your portion of the security deposit that is liquidated damages is due to the seller, and they don't get it back. And so if you really want to lock that thing down, take about half that security deposit and put it in as liquidated damages.
So what he's saying is we're going to make 2,500 of this non-refundable under any and all circumstances. Is that what you're saying, Barry?
That's what I'm saying. Yep. If they cancel, then that is done deal. So that's the way you tighten that up.
One of my agents I just sponsored in Dallas, she put an offer in, listen to this, 3,000 square foot home on 11 acres just outside of Dallas, had a nice winding creek riverbed through it with water flowing through it, about 12 inches of water, just beautiful babbling brook thing. And she didn't get it. And I think she would have gladly have offered 5,000, non-refundable under any circumstances. She would have done. She didn't think of that. And that's brilliant, Barry. So Barry, what you're calling a security deposit, and this is embarrassing, but doesn't it say initial deposit on the purchase agreement up there? Initial, embarrassing for me, not for you. Doesn't it say, or did they change? I don't remember seeing security deposit.
That's what I'm referring to. Earnest money deposit, security deposit, initial.
But it doesn't say earnest money either. I used to say earnest money.
I know.
It says initial deposit, right?
I understand that. Everybody that uses all three of those terms is talking about what you're talking about.
Okay, so but on the contract, just so everyone's clear, it's called initial deposit right there at the top, right, Barry?
I think so. I'll pull up a contract while we
That's
talk.
so funny. Good. I'm not so embarrassed anymore because I've not done that in 2.5 years. So I feel better because you do it every day. All right. Let me see. All right.
One other thing I was going to throw out there is you're seeing a lot of like crazy offers come through if you're representing sellers. And what's happened, what Val and I are doing is that they're shortening their time contingencies, right? Because they're trying to make their offer look incredible. Hey, we'll shorten inspections. We'll have a quick escrow. Well, what we have been started doing is countering back with, because you have so many offers in a multiple offer situation, is okay, we're going to hold you to that. And if you go over, there's going to be a per diem charge. Because a lot of these people, Val and I have started experiencing it, so they'll promise the moon and then they'll ghost you. As soon as they get in an escrow, they'll ghost you, and then it's a regular 30-day escrow. And that's not what the seller signed up for. That's not why we picked that offer to begin with. So you might want to consider doing that as well.
Awesome. Very cool.
Love this collaborative thing we got going here. Anybody else questions about
Johnny, could you say that? Johnny, could you say that again? Could you explain what you just meant by that?
Yeah. So let's say the buyer comes in and says, hey, we'll do short inspection contingencies and we'll close in 21 days, right? Instead of 30. Well, anything past the 21 day, I would counter them and make sure that they're paying a per diem charge. So whatever it costs your seller, like
yeah,
whatever
I got
the
it.
mortgage rate is, I would just build that into it.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And guys, you have to do that up front. You have to really do that at the time of the accepting the offer. You try to do it later, everybody gets pissed off.
You put it, you can't do it later. I mean, the buyer would say, no, thanks, not going to do it. Now you can when the buyer's time to remove contingencies and the buyer's wanting to, cooperate or in breach of contract and they're like, I'm not going to make the 21 days, go fine. We'll give you a 7-day extension, but you're going to pay $100 a day for 7 days. It's going to cost you $700, which is $3,000 a month at $100 a day per diem. So you could throw that in there. But if you're removing contingencies within the time frame, which is why I think you should do a really fast close, so you don't run into these really tough negotiators like John Jennings over here. Gotta get one of those things. All right. So who else? Any other buyer experiences, seller experience, etc.? Anybody else? Buyer, seller. Anybody else want to jump in?
I hate to be that guy, but a lot of buyers.
Kidding. It's good.
Well, what I'm about to say. So what a lot of buyers, again, they're just trying to get their offer sold, because imagine like if you put an offer in on Darcy's listing, right? 15 showings, who knows how many offers, if there's 20 offers, like how are you going to stand out? And so they're just getting crazy in there. And from the seller's perspective, from the listing agent's perspective, I'm looking at it and going, this is just a bunch of horse pucky. You know, like there's no way they're going to do this, but what if they can, you know? And so what we've been doing is just to keep your ducks in a row, make sure that if they shorten those time frame contingencies, be in contact with that agent, always be calling them. But if they start ghosting you, start sending notice to performance like 2 days prior to those contingency dates. 3 days, send the close of escrow, demand to close escrow 3 days out prior to when you're supposed to close, because it really makes you look bad if you told the seller, hey, this is what they said they were going to do, and then the day comes, and then you're having to renegotiate, send out extensions and stuff. So just so that way
you're trying to blame the title company or the mortgage, but it comes back on you. There's a splashback. Somehow it's John's fault. Somehow you didn't represent me and do your job. And so it shouldn't be like that, but there's a negative splashback and you don't want that, right, John?
Absolutely. And so if you can kind of see it coming too. If all of a sudden the agent ghosts you, you're like, oh boy, something's going on. If constant communication is going, then there shouldn't be an issue. But if there's any red flags, I would listen to your intuition and start sending out those notice to performs or those demands to close escrow. And how I do that when I reach out to the agent and how Valerie does it is we blame it on the seller, right? So we say, hey, the seller, they really want to work, they really want to do this, but they read the contract and they see that, you know, you're supposed to have your inspection contingency removed in 2 days. Haven't heard from you. If I don't hear back from you, they really want me to do it. So that way you're not the bad guy. So that's how I do it. If there's a better way out there, I'd be happy to hear it. But I just don't want to bring that bridge with the seller.
So let's be honest. If you get a listing, it is shooting ducks in a barrel. It's duck soup. Listings is money in your pocket. It's like finding gold, money on the street. You know, the issue is not, we could talk about how to get listings. Now that's a good thing, but not how to sell your listings. Pretty easy to do right now. People are desperate. They'll offer you the sun, the moon, and the stars. What's tricky is working with the buyer right now. Raise your hand if you agree with me. It's a little trickier to work with the buyer. Everyone agree? A little bit? Good. So let's do some strategies on that today. Everyone write this down. Yes, Darcy.
I'll chime in when you're done.
Okay. So I just want to give you some things. You need to be closing that escrow in 12 days. 14 days is like a 30-day escrow. So you better be moving quick. 10, 12, a long escrow is 14. 10, 9 if you want to hustle. 21 days is you're dead. 19 days, you're toast. Think in terms of 10, 12, and 14. 10 is fast. 12 is okay. 14 is like a 30-day escrow. That's the longest you want to do. Well, my lender is not prepared. Well, whose fault is that? Well, they were having a hard time getting tax. You have got to jump on your client, take control and say, I desperately need you. I talked to the lender. You're missing bank stubs. They have not gotten the pay statements. They have not gotten bank statements. You're missing pay stubs and bank statements. I need you to do it today. You need to flip and drop everything and do it today. You ride them like Zorro. They'll ignore your lender. And the problem is your lender can't go quick. And then whose fault is it? It's your fault. Well, that's their job. They're the lender. Great. How's that working out with you when they tell you the quickest they can close is 21 days? And a guy like me comes along and does a 10-day closing, kicks your, right? So no bueno. You help your lender collect tax returns, pay stubs, W-2s, bank statements, the divorce paperwork, whatever it is they need. You have got to be very active. Get your buyer all the way down the road as far as you can to where your lender needs a fully executed contract and an appraisal done on a rush. That's where you want to be. What's that take? I don't know. Ask them, what else you need? You have everything you need. Is there anything you don't need? Be very clear with your lender. And I go, if you're not clear with me, you won't be my lender for long. And I need a list, and then you bird dog it. Well, that's their job. You will be a very ineffective agent. So number one, get your buyers all the way down that road. Number two, your lender needs to be able, if they have a client like that, they need to be able to close in 10, 12, 14 days. Well, it's hard. I get it. So is showing property all weekend. That's hard. So is doing COVID compliant 19 open houses. That's hard. So is calling for sale by owners and expireds and doing by referral only and busting your ass. That's hard too. So you know what? No bueno. You need to find a lender that can rock it out. All lenders are not created equally. Some of them truly are amazing, but their company they work for is lame because they're so into the refi market that they need 25 days, 21 days, 30 days. Listen to me. You are not completing your fiduciary to your client. Your client, my agent I just sponsored in Dallas, she lost her dream home. She is heartbroken. There's pain on her face. She's in backup position number one. She lost a 3,000 square foot home on 11 acres. You know how much it was? Dallas is pretty pricey. It was $485. It was $485 for 11 acres, with a beautiful meandering creek through the property. She's in tears. And if you think, well, I like my lender's good. If your lender can't get it done, you have a fiduciary to your client, not the fact that your lender took you to lunch, took you to Ruth Chris, to dinner. Stop. You need to go interview 20 lenders. Do what you got to do to get. You want Muhammad Ali in your pocket as a lender. You want the knockout punch. You want people making excuses. Is that what you want? Barry, do you like it when lenders give you excuses and just fill you full of BS? If there's anyone who doesn't like that, it's Barry Mathis.
Hell
right?
no.
Yeah. And so listen to me. If that's the lender you have, it's your fault. No, it's not. I tried to get him to use XYZ loan officer, Jeff Compton, Alicia. I tried. Really? Nope. They said they've done 3 deals with this loan officer and their families used them 5 times. It's a family loan officer. I tried. Okay, well, it's day 19. How's it going? Well, they need a 10-day extension. How's that going? Are you about to lose your commission when they go, you know what? We have a backup offer that's 20,000 more. All cash. Bye. He didn't make it. We're going to take the backup offer. They're going to wire funds next week. We're done. So here's the bottom line. It's your fault. It's not their fault. No, I tried to get them to go to Alicia or Jeff Compton. Try harder. Get better. I look at him and say, look, John Jennings, you do not have to switch to my lender, but you do need to check with them because I know you love your lender. Your lender may be great, but I'm telling you what, my lender is going to beat the pants off your lender. An interest rate, and even if the interest rate's the same and they both get you like 1.1 30-year fix, even if it's the same, what are you paying in closing costs, John? And just shut up. They could never answer the question. They never know what they're paying in closing costs. They just don't. I go, look, listen to me. I know you love them. It's a major red flag. The fact that you don't know what you're talking about in closing costs, do you know it's actually criminal? They have to give you a good faith estimate. And that includes your down payment and closing costs. The fact that you don't have a good faith estimate is criminal. And so I know it's a good person. I'm sure they're not a criminal, but let me tell you, when they hear that you're talking to Darcy Stratton, my lender, all of a sudden that great interest rate at 1.3 is going to drop to 1.1. You think, well, that's only 0.2%. Over 30 years, it's about $25,000. If you saw $25,000 on the street, would you just kick it? Or would you pick it up all cash? Nobody's around. No one even turn it into. You're in the middle of the wilderness. You can't even turn it in. It's a big deal, 2.1. And then number one, let's say, or 1.1, let's say, but they both give you 1.1. You know what your closing costs are. Do you know that I've had lenders give out closing costs for 16 grand, 14 grand, normal's 10, 12 grand. You know what my lender did last week? Closing costs were $6,000. So even if your lender's at 10,000, do you want to just throw away $4,000? Do you want to go out to dinner when you could have paid 150, but pay over 4,000 for that dinner? I'm telling you, you talk to my lender, Closing costs will go from 10 to 6 magically because there's a thing called keeping your lender honest. Even if you don't use my lender, just the fact that you had a 3-minute conversation with my lender, I'm going to save you thousands. I personally believe I'll save you $25,000 to $30,000 if you have a 3-minute conversation with my lender, because it's going to scare the bejeebies out of your lender, and they're going to sharpen their pencil. That rate's going to drop. Because you say, dude, is that how you talk to your prospects for homes? Probably a lot of you know. And you get stuck with their lender at the credit union. They go, we need 45 days. Go write a bunch of escrows with 45-day closes. We need 30 days. We're a credit union. We do mostly boats and automobiles and motorcycles. We love Geico motorcycles. Darcy Stratton, John Jennings, if you have 3 offers and 2 of them are closing in 21 days and one's doing 30 and everything's the same and one's using a credit union with a 30-day close, who are you going to pick? I mean, it's like, so you guys need to get better at switching them. And then if you've got a good lender, you get them up to the plate, they don't lose it. They will get the deal. And so how are you promoting it? We should really talk to my lender. No, thank you. All right, bye. Now you're stuck with their lender. Their lender will take you to hell and give you a tour of hell. Anybody know what I'm talking about? You ever had, I want to hear from you. John, have you ever had a buyer who insisted on using their lender and the lender said, I am not Julie McCoy in the Love Boat. I'm the tour guide for hell. And you're going to have so much fun. What are you talking about?
They're horrible.
Anybody
They're
know what I'm
they're on the
talking
East
about?
Coast. Yeah. Quicken. Run from Quicken. They're on different time zones.
Lendingtree.com.
Yeah. Because what they do is they're rate shop, and a lot of them will rate shop. And so they may know what their interest rate is, but they don't know the closing costs, like Brent was saying, and they don't understand how valuable it is to have a good lender. So if their lender's on the East Coast and they don't understand how Quicken works, they take the app, then they pass it to somebody else, and they pass it to somebody else, and then they shut down at like 2:00 our time. So it's horrible. So yeah, you're 100% right. If I saw with the credit union or Quicken, I would say no, we're going with somebody else.
There you go. And it's like this, lendingtree.com, they put it out to bid. Who will do this for 1.5%? You get to charge this. You're going to earn $3,000 on the loan. What good loan officer is going to do all that work for $3,000? Nobody. You know who will? A brand new loan officer. Do you want somebody brand new from Quicking or lendingtree.com processing a loan and you get to the end to find out they can't even do the loan? I've been down that road. I know everything I'm telling you from massive pain. I have personally been on a tour through hell with a loan officer I didn't know. And it's not fun and the client will blame you. So A, get to your loan officer, find somebody that can close in 10, 12, 14 days. Well, my client has bad credit. Well, fix their credit before you go house shopping. You're just going to lose deal after deal after deal. Help them massage it, get them up, get them ready to go so they can close in 14. And then if they're really nasty, self-employed credit scores, just a mess, make room for what you do want by getting rid of what you don't want. Refer it out, give it to somebody else. It's tough to get buyers in escrow. And if you've got I need to do a 60-day escrow and we need $20,000 towards the buyer's closing costs. Okay, so close fast, no loan contingency. You shouldn't be doing a loan. So you're closing in 12 days, no loan contingency, no appraisal contingency, and do the appraisal in you close in 12, inspection in 10. So John gives me a notice of perform. He can't issue it till the 10th day. He may do it 3 days prior, doesn't matter. He can't actually do it till day 10. He can issue a notice of perform on the day that we're supposed to close, and then I have another 48 hours. Or 24 hours. What is it? 48 or 24 hours, Barry? Do you remember the notice to perform on a loan or appraisal removal? Who knows?
It's 48. It's 2 days for the notice.
It is 48.
3 days for
It's business days. He gives it.
Oh.
I now have till Tuesday. Okay. And let's say Tuesday comes and I'm out of runway. John, we're going to have to cancel the sale right now or we close tomorrow. I will never remove my inspection contingency. I don't need a loan or appraisal contingency. They can do all that. John can do all that stuff he wants. You do not need a loan or appraisal. Now you do need one if you're doing a 30-day escrow or 45-day escrow or something, you need that. Okay. But if you close quick, you don't need a loan or appraisal. But what if it doesn't, it's a problem with the loan? You cancel. Why? Yeah, we inspected the house. We've decided didn't meet what specifically? Can't really put my thumb on it, but we just have to really take it a closer look at doing the home inspection. We're just going to pass. Really, after taking a little deeper live, can't really put a finger out, but we're out. There's nothing they can do about that.
Hey, Brent.
Yes.
So also on that, take a look at a contingency removal form, and you'll see all the contingencies broken out. Your inspection contingency not only covers the house, but it also covers a lot of the disclosures you get, the prelim and all of that.
Didn't
And
like the disclosures, didn't really like the way the home went through the home. What exactly? We can't put a finger on it.
And another thing is, if they issue a document, particularly the TDS comes with an automatic out no matter what. So even if you removed everything else, even if you removed all your contingency and they issue that TDS, you have 5 days to come out of the contract. And that's a completely separate, that's state law related to TDSs, not anything to do with the contract.
TDS,
it's really hard to force a buyer to buy a house in the state of California.
Transfer disclosure statement.
Transfer disclosure statement. So you're getting the seller's transferring what he knows about the home to the buyer. He's disclosing, and it really asks. So here's the deal. You don't need a loan contingency if you're closing fast. You don't need an appraisal. So stop using them. You think, well, I'm cutting mine down to 9 and 7. Great. I don't have anything. If Barry had 7 days for the loan approval, 5 for the appraisal, he's going to order on a rush. And we both offer 500,000. I have no loan contingency, no appraisal contingency. Barry has 2. He has them. It's aggressive. Heck, 7 days and 5 days. Wow, right? All things being even, what would you recommend to your seller? Which offer to take? The one with appraisal and loan contingency? No, it's quick. 7 and 5 is almost unheard of. Or mine with no loan, no appraisal. What would you recommend if the price was the same and everything was equal?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Honestly, Brent, we're seeing some crazy offers come through. I'd have to know you. If you picked up the phone and talked to me, I'd be more likely to take whoever had the short.
Okay, well, we're not going there. You've met Barry. He's awesome. You've met me. I'm awesome. You love his lender. You love my lender. Again, like I said, we've done all that. All things are equal. Who would you recommend your client to take?
I would take the shorter escrow, short one. Get him paid quick.
No. All things are equal. Same escrow. Barry's 12 days. I'm 12 days. I said the difference between our loans is Barry has a 7-day loan contingency and a 5-day appraisal contingency. And I came in no loan contingency, no appraisal contingency. That is the only difference. He has 2. I have none. Who would you pick?
I'd pick the no loan contingency.
Would you? Are you sure? I'm asking. No, really think about it. Would you?
Yeah. I don't know. Why wouldn't I?
Exactly. I was just kind of messing with you.
Okay. This is a question.
All day. I'm just totally messing with you. So here's the deal. You guys think you're savvy with your 10-day loan contingency and your 9-day appraisal. You shouldn't have them in this market. You will get obliterated. And then you close in 10, 12, 14 days. If it's a 14-day close, 12 days for inspections. You can even do 10. You're like, hey, we're closing in a few days. And even if they usually they don't even give you the notice to perform. How often does it really happen that you get a notice to perform? And it could happen. And then what do I do then? Don't perform. They can't put a gun to your head and make you sign it. You go, look, we close in the next 24 to 48 hours. You can cancel the sale. So I try to do, if it's a 14-day close, 12 days for the inspection. And then the other thing is, since you're never, ever going to remove contingencies, ever. Darcy, I'm going to go to Darcy on this one. She sells a lot of listings. Let's say a home's at 500,000. You got to unmute yourself. What type of earnest money do you typically see on average with the $500,000 home? $5,000 deposit, $10,000 deposit, $15,000 deposit, 20. What do you see on average? Not the savvy agent, but on average.
5,000, just 1%. Most of the time, people just barely do the 1%.
Okay. Now, a good agent, not just a typical normal, but not a savvy agent, but a good agent. Where do they typically put up for earnest money?
They may say, let's try it. Let's do 10. You have the cash. Let's do 10.
Okay, so 10. Now, how about a savvy agent, one who's really aggressive? What do they put down? What have you seen on some of your listings? Maybe 400, 500, 600,000. What kind of deposits are you seeing? 10? Is that the best?
I've seen 25. I mean, on a high-end listing, I've seen 50K, but you have to, it's going to be an agent who's confident and who knows, who understands. And it's like, this doesn't cost us money, but it shows us strength.
Right. But back to the 4, 5, 600,000. What do you typically see?
Normally
Savvy
it's-
aggressive agent.
Okay, so normally on that, honestly, maybe you'll see 8, 9,000, maybe
Okay.
10.
So here's how you differentiate yourself. And let's say it's 500,000. And let's say the client's putting down what, 10%, 20? What do you think?
Okay, yeah, 10%,
So 10% of 500 is what?
50.
So if someone puts up 10,000, which we just heard is really good. Normal's 5, maybe 8, 10. They put up 10 at close of escrow. 10 days later, what do they bring in? How much money do they bring in?
40K.
$40,000. Are they going to lose the 10? Yes or no? Are you removing contingencies?
No, we're not removing them, so they won't lose it.
Bring in 50. Stop writing sissy offers. Quit. I mean, do you like losing? Do you guys like losing? Start putting up $50,000 earnest money deposits. I say, you know what? James Stroop, he told you he wants it, but how much he put down? 14,000. Is that it? I go, my client is putting down $44,000. We have 44,000 reasons to close escrow. I realize that Fausto and Darcy and James tell you how bad they want it. And I'm sure they want it bad. But John, who's showing you? Do you have anyone who put up a $40,000 earnest money deposit? Do you have anyone even close, John?
Not
What do
even
you say to
close.
me?
Not even close.
So everybody's telling you who's showing you. And so,
Hey, Brent, let's say you put up $50,000 as a security deposit on a $500,000 house.
yep.
And for some reason, the 2% chance that you actually lose your security deposit, right? How much do you actually lose?
You only lose 3% of the purchase price, which is 15 grand. If you read
There
the
you
fine
go.
print,
That 1550 is not even
15,000 at risk. Did you guys know that? So thank you for covering that, Barry. You say, hey, if they don't go through, we get 50 grand. Wrong. You get 3% of the purchase price. So if it's a $900,000 home, you get 27 grand. I put up 100 grand, you're getting 27. That's all you get. You tell your client you get 100 grand if they bail. Your boop is grass. Rhymes with glass. Something.
Where does it say that, Brent?
What?
Where does it say
Says
only the
it in the
3%?
liquidated portions. I made Joanna
Okay.
laugh. It says it in the liquidated portions of the contract by arbitration liquidation. Everybody read your contract.
Paragraph
But it says,
21B. Paragraph
no
21B.
more than 3% of the purchase price shall be forfeited to the seller as a liquidated damage. But here's the deal. If you do not remove contingencies, you are contingent. There's no way they're going to touch that money. Ain't going to happen. Now, can you promise that? No, it will go to small claims court and a judge will make the decision. With that said, I have never lost a client's earnest money deposit in 25 years. You could say my partner who's done 4,000 sales I'm your partner, if you want me to be, has never lost an earnest money deposit. Now it could happen. It goes to small claims court and the judge gets to make the decision. We're 100% on 4,000. It's never happened. A, people just don't want to even take the time to even hassle over that. But B, if you have good credit, good jobs, this and that, you close in 10, 12, 14 days, you're like they didn't remove contingencies. They might fight over it and you may have to go to court to get that money out of title. You tell them we do need a signature, but I'm telling you, we have had to go to court one time in 25 years. I did have a client, a seller, take my Intel buyer in Folsom to court because my buyer claimed he lost his job and the seller called BS. Intel doesn't lay people off. Well, he was a contract worker for Intel and he really got laid off. And the judge said, did he remove his contingencies? He says, well, no. In fact, how long were you in escrow for? He goes, 3 days. He goes, you were in escrow for 3 days and you think you're entitled to this man's pay? Oh, hell yes. He wasted my time. And the judge said, yeah, you're an idiot. Judgment for the buyer. And here's your money. I'm sorry you met this clown. I mean, he just like ridiculed him. But there are some idiots out there. So it's one time. We have never lost. So like Barry said, it's very hard to lose the earnest money deposit. And if you're in a situation where you are, get on the phone with me very quickly, or Barry or Darcy or John Jennings, some of us that have been around. Don't talk to James. He doesn't know nothing. Just kidding.
I'll put another 1,000 transactions on that and we've never lost a client. So there's 5,000 transactions, no
There
clients.
you go. There you go. So start, either get your bottom handed to you on a silver platter, or let's start winning when you write offers. Winning in a multiple offer situation begins with your ability to communicate with the listing agent. Who believes in that? Anybody? Don't just fire that offer over. You tell them how many offers you got, where are you at, blah, 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 blah. You do all that. Hey, so bottom line, can I just bottom line it with John? What do we got to do to win? And they just shut up. And they're like, you better come in at 520 if you want to have a chance. To tell my clients, unless you want to go at 520, we don't need to write. He's already got offers at 520. Let's do it. Bam. Or John says, John, do me the classic. You'll hear this a lot. I can't tell you that. It's not fair to the other agents. Go ahead. Let's role play this.
Brent, I can't tell you that. My seller doesn't want me to tell you.
Okay, I get it. I get it. Well, how about this? You're listed at 595. We're thinking about closing in 10 days as is, putting up, give them some juice, make them want to work with you. We're putting up a $50,000 earnest money deposit. Everyone's telling you how bad they want it. I'm showing you, we have 50,000 reasons to perform. The funny thing is they'll never see it. It's like a mirage in the desert you keep walking to. But they love the shiny object. They freak out. They're so not used to it. They're like, dang, these people are what? They are serious as a heart attack. We are serious as a heart attack. We're putting our money where our mouth is. $50,000, John. 10-day close, no loan contingency, no appraisal contingency. I don't mention the inspection, just leave it alone. No loan contingency, no appraisal contingency, $50,000, 10-day close. And we know your people live there. We're gonna let them stay 2 months rent-free. You can collect $1,800 worth of rent for 2 months, or you could pay another $10,000 or $20,000 for the house. Do you wanna let them have 1,800 times 2 is $3,600. You wanna give them $3,600 worth of rent, or pay 10 or 20,000 more for the house? What is it you want to do, Mr. Buyer? Well, I'd rather not pay 10 or 20. So let's let them stay for 2 months rent free. Everyone else is dickering over the rent. Well, 1,800, I've lived here for 20 years. I only paid 900 a month. I'm not paying 8, that's double. Instead of being a good thing, now they're inflamed because you're asking for 1,800. Your payment's 2,700. You thought you were being nice, asking rate. They're irate with you because they paid 9. And you know what the fight is over? $900 a month. Really? Right? $1,800 over 2 months. Hey, stay there 2 months rent free. 2 months, and we'll close in 10 days. And by the way, John, Darcy, Manu, you get paid in 10 days. I don't know about you, but I'm excited, man. I'm so excited. All right, what do you think about getting paid in 10 days? Darcy, do you like the idea of getting, it's $900,000. You like the idea of getting paid in 10 days, Darcy? I will. I'm telling you, they're using my lender. My lender's an absolute animal. And by the way, when we hang up this call, in the next 30 seconds, you're going to get a call from my lender. They're going to tell you why we could close in 10 days. Because we have pay stubs, W-2s, bank statements, tax returns. Write it down. You can't rattle it off like me. Write it down. Pay stubs, W-2s, bank statements, tax returns. We've got it all. We just need a fully executed contract and an appraisal. We'll get that done on a rush. I know we're no appraisal contingency, so it's not important, but we're just curious, you know? And so boom. Yeah. And of course there is a loan involved. So the bank's going to want to look at the appraisal. So we really don't have a choice on that. But here's the deal. The offer is a dream offer, and it's as is. We're not going to ask you to do a thing. But here's the deal, John. I know you can't tell me where the offers are. You said there's 7 offers, John?
Yeah, 7.
So far. And when are you presenting offers? Tonight at 7? Is that what you said to me earlier? You said you're presenting tonight at 7?
Yeah, tonight 7.
Okay. So can we do this? Just to give me a sense of it, can we just play the hot, cold game? Because I have this dream offer with you where you get paid in 10 days. By the way, the seller gets his money in 10 days and he can take his skip out of there 2 months later, holding hands with his wife, her husband, and skip out of that property with no stress, no appraisal issue at the end, no loan problem at the end. And instead of, this long escrow with all these questions, done. Can we play the hot, cold game, John? And what I mean by that is we're thinking about coming in at 420. It's 495. We're going to come in at 520, 25,000 over. Am I even warm? And they laugh and they go, I can't do this with you. I go, no, you totally can. You can't tell me the price. I get it yourselves. I know. But am I even warm? Come on, John. Look at my smile. I just smile at him.
You're getting close, but the seller wants to send out a multiple counter offer to the highest and best.
Gotcha. But as we are right now, you said I'm getting close, so I'm kind of warm, but I'm not hot.
Yeah, no, you're there. Like you'd get a counter offer for sure. We're not going to counter everybody. We'll counter the best offers.
Okay, awesome. So let me ask you a question. What would it take to get it and just not have a counter offer? I mean, how good would we need to make this offer? Because I'm telling you, 50,000 deposit, close in 10 days, like eBay, like buy it now. What would it take? Because John, if we can get the seller and the buyer to agree on the price, not do this multiple counter offer, highest and best mumbo jumbo. Because if someone says, well, I'll give you 600,000, is that deal going to appraise? No. Will they perform? Maybe not. Do you really want to get in bed with the agent who just throws whatever you want at the fence and they're so irresponsible, then the deal goes south, but it happens to be a 45-day close and then the deal blows up in 45 days and you're still not paid, John, and then you get fired because the seller's mad at you because the loan didn't go through. Is that what you want, John?
Not at all.
And you got to take a chance here and do some things. So here's the deal, John. Can you call your seller right now and say, man, we have someone willing to close in 10 days, buy it as is. They're already offering 30,000 over the price and they're got a $50,000. Make sure you tell them that, John, 50,000. Nobody does that. And they're using my lender, and my lender, you're going to want to use my lender after you meet my lender. She is a rock star. And by the way, they're going to call you in the next 30 seconds and tell you why we can get this done. Nobody does that either, by the way. And you tell your lender, go, you've already got John and his phone number. And I said, you go, you call. Excuse yourself from any phone call, get up from your desk, even if you're taking a loan application with the people. I go, excuse me, I'll be right back. And you call in 30 seconds or you will not be my lender. Well, you're kind of radical. I hate losing. And I have a fiduciary to my client to get the house for them. And so guess what? My lender calls and it blows them away. And then I say, and by the way, John, I've taken the liberty of ordering the home inspection for Saturday morning. So it's already booked. Today is Thursday. We're doing the home inspection Saturday morning. It's done. And I go, if we get this, we're going to do this. We're going to close. I mean, they're like, who does that? Who does this stuff? Nobody does it. And by the way, John, if we get this deal, I want it so bad. Do you like Napa?
Absolutely. Who doesn't like Napa?
Yeah, I'm going to send you to the Archer Hotel for 2 nights for the weekend. And you can pick any restaurant you want in Napa besides the French Laundry. And I will give you, or I wouldn't say that. You could pick any restaurant you want. I'm going to go get you a $500 gift card to that restaurant, pay for the Archer for 2 nights. And you could go wine tasting, have fun with this. If we get this deal, you couldn't say, Brent, tell me that's not necessary. Say that.
Well, actually, Brent, I've heard that you do these things. So the client was good with $495, but I'll take all that stuff as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Tell me it's not necessary.
Not necessary, Brent. No, you don't have to do that.
I know. But here's the deal. You can stop me from doing it. I promise you it's going to happen.
All right.
My client wants this property so bad they can taste it. I want it so bad. John, if you and I get an escrow, I'm going to be the favorite agent you've ever met. You say jump, I say hi. You're going to love doing a deal with me. And guess what? My partner, Manu, my partner, Missy, Joanna, Fausto, James, Barry, Megan, Missy, Darcy, Cindy, we have a lot of listings. You see one of our listings, baby, I'm going to roll the red carpet out for you. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do right now. I want you to call your seller and ask them for a buy it now price. We don't want to play the highest and best game. It just sets up a big appraisal nightmare mess. The highest one is a 60-day close and then it blows up. Would you call them, John? Would you? Is there a price they just say, we're good? Because the terms are great. Would you agree my terms are phenomenal?
They're incredible. Yeah, I'll call them. I'll get back to you, but they're going to want to see something in writing. So now that I have your terms.
Yeah. So what I'm looking from you, John, is get a number. Get me a buy it now number. And so, okay, I go, call me back. Call me back in 10 minutes. I'm letting him know this is not something we're spending the rest of the day on.
Yeah.
Can you reach your client right now? I think so. Good. Call me right back. I'm going to sit right here. I'm going to stay on the Zoom channel. And then, I told them you were coming in at 5:20 and they said that wasn't enough, but they'll do 5:30. You go to 5:30, we'll sell it right now. I go, done. My client said they would go to 5:30. So I am sending you an offer right now in the next 10 minutes at 5:30. Would you call your clients right now and say that my clients have accepted the gracious offer of 5:30? And would you set up a time to present that to them in the next 20 or 30 minutes? I'll have it in your email in 10 minutes. And then would you be willing to do that? Because this is done. We now have a deal. My clients are doing the 5:30. I know they'll take it. They already told me if you go to 5:30, they'll do it. We have a deal. Sound good, John?
Absolutely. Just make sure that lender calls me because I really need to speak to him.
Oh yeah, lender's going to call you in the next 30 seconds. Boom, boom, boom. You saw it's a little bit more aggressive. And then he goes, okay, John, I just sent you the email 10 minutes later. It's in your email. Did you talk to my lender, Alicia, Jeff, whoever? Yeah, I did. Wow. That guy's a rock star. She's a rock star. Roland Benson from iMortgage. Woo. Ty Peely from Pacific West Whale Mortgage. Wow. What a great guy. What a great gal. Really liked Alicia. I go, I'm telling you, they're like my secret weapon. You will love them. So you have the offer. If you could just DocuSign your client, send it back. It's great. Hey, John, we have a deal, right? Yeah, we have a deal. I go, do me a favor. Have you ever run to a house and shown it? And you're so excited you called the agent, you're going to write this great offer only to find out it's already sold. Yeah. You know, there are people probably driving here from Vacaville right now in Stockton or up from Oak Grove. It's a long drive, sometimes in 2 hours round trip. Since we have a deal, why don't you mark it pending right now in the MLS? Just mark it pending. And now, John, tell me you can't do it. Say, I can't do that. It's not signed. Say that.
Come on, man. It's not signed. We don't have an official offer just yet.
I go, I totally get it. But I mean, we have a deal, right? So you grab your mouse and you just go click. Pending. I do it all the time because here's the deal. You're going to get more and more offers. And then some of those agents are nasty going, I'm going to sue you if you don't present my offer or whatever. Or the people just driving to look at it. They're all wasting our time. We've done that. So let's not hurt those other agents. We have a deal. It's over. So mark it pending and let's just move on. I'll do the same for you. We get a deal on my listing. The second we have a verbal deal, I will mark my listing pending. Because I don't want to waste the time of all those other agents. And then if anyone calls to say, yeah, my clients accept another offer, and leave it at that. No, they don't get any specifics. It's none of their business. Sorry, they've accepted another offer. I sit there and coach them and massage them into this. And this is how you get. I sold 14 homes in a month at an aggressive offer, 14 buyers, different buyers. And this is playing at a new level. Okay. Does this make sense to people? Questions off of what I've said or whatever?
The only thing I would add, Brent, or maybe you could add more too, is if I'm the agent and I'm hearing that, I'm like, this is going to be incredible working across from this guy. I want to do this. But now I have to pitch it to my buyers or my sellers who maybe have only sold one house, maybe two houses in their entire life. And they see all these other offers come in and they're afraid they're going to leave money on the table. So you really have to coach the sellers and like, this is the best offer.
Yeah. So you got to buy it now price. It doesn't matter about the other offers.
Yeah.
You know, what price? Maybe you have two offers that are at 530 and I'm at 520. You go, well, 540, we'll sell it now for 540. I got a number. My client wanted to do 540. He goes, yeah, done. We got a deal. It is over. And you got to move like lightning fast. This needs to be done in 5 or 10 minutes.
What I like about that
urgency.
What I like about the script is how you're telling the agent, hey, have you ever seen this before? Do you have any offers even close to that? And they say no, or no, it's unusual. Well, please tell your seller that when you're presenting to you're giving them the word track to convince them.
Yes. Tell your sellers this is a dream situation. The highest I've seen is 24,000. They doubled. Darcy just said that. Did you guys hear her? Although she did say 50 on some big high-end property. But the highest we've ever seen, I mean, this is unheard of. This is the buyer for you. And then they let you stay for 2 months rent-free, 30 days rent-free. I mean, they hit the easy button. And, are you ready? The home that this gal lost, the 3,000 square feet on 11 acres, it was a trust sale. The kids inherited the property from mom and dad. It's pretty emotional. It's full of stuff from mom and dad who'd been there for 30 years. I would write in my offer, seller may come and pick up any and all personal property. And sellers are welcome to leave any and all personal property. You don't have to empty that house, go through the pain of filling all the trash cans and realize all the trash cans are filled. Now you got to borrow a truck from a front and make 5 runs to the dump. We will handle that. We're hitting the easy button. Just take whatever's valuable, take whatever's sentimental. we got the rest. We'll clean that house out. Because did you tell your clients, we're going to hire 1-800 junket? It's going to cost you $1,200, and they're going to come in and haul everything that's salvageable to Goodwill. The rest goes to the dump. And if you want something, take it. But I'll get that house empty. This is what we got to do to win in this market. There are already 7 offers. There's probably 5 more. And so you see how I'm thinking differently? Because the contract says it needs to be empty, all personal property and debris. Debris means trash. You can leave the trash. You can leave everything. We will deal with it. Hit the easy button. Great price. What's the buy it now price? Are you guys with me? And so you cannot be doing these wimpy offers. This is fun. I'm enjoying this. Anything else? Any other comments, thoughts? Yes, Darcy.
Okay, I'm going to try to switch it around. I wanted to show you what this agent did on a home that had multiple offers. So every time I get an offer with my sellers, I forwarded it to my sellers via email, and then we meet at a certain time and go over it. But I just do that to cover myself saying, yep, the sellers have seen it, because I had an agent one time say that I didn't. So I forwarded on. Well, this agent put a video of himself on the offer. So now my sellers get to see who this agent is, and it made them kind of fall for this agent. So I just wanted to just play it for you really fast. Just so you guys might know him, and he's a super cool guy. It's the first time I ever worked with him. Eric Hatch. He's out of Auburn, and this is what he says.
Hey, Darcy, happy Sunday evening. Eric Hatcher with Century 21. Just wanted to put a face to a name and send you this email and an offer here that we have for you on Summerdale. It's a great, super sweet couple. There's also a letter attached from them. They're moving down from Seattle area to be closer in to work and family. And just wanted to touch base and let me know if you have any additional questions. They came in $20,000 over asking. Hopefully that is enough. So feel free to, if not, at least get us to a counter offer if there's anything that the buyer or seller needs. We also put in there that they have an option of a seller rent back. They're not in a huge hurry. They just fell in love with your home. They were down looking at homes and they absolutely fell in love with it. So they were still a little bit early to be purchasing, but they just fell in love with your house and your client's home. So they do have a little bit of time and room for the seller if they need it to do some rent back there.
So yeah, I just wanted to kind of give you an idea. So then my sellers get that and they're like, well, this agent's cool. And then they get that, because pretty soon it starts to get, when you get 14 offers, they all start blending together a little bit. So this just puts, more emotion, more, everything. And I think that's a huge thing that we can, I even had this guy, he's called Dan, the 916 man. He's hilarious. He sent me this video too. So
Good,
I'm like,
play it. I want to watch part of it. Hit play.
Dan? Okay, you guys. Okay,
hit play. We'll watch 30 seconds.
Are you guys ready for Dan? This is going to crack you up. He was an awesome agent to work with.
I've been in business for over 5 years, sold over 100 homes, and if you work with me, did you fall asleep yet? When buying or selling real estate, do you really care about my brag reel, or is it more important to know that your real estate decisions are safe? Hey, I'm Dan Herbert, the 916 Real Estate Dude. I take a straight up and honest approach to helping you make the right real estate decisions. So you might be thinking,
okay, that's Dan.
That's crazy. That's over there. I like it though. Be different. What makes you different?
He was awesome.
So you can make a video. Awesome. I'm going to give you another thought. I went up against 3 cash offers, 2 conventional offers. So is that, and so I'll say it again. 3 cash offers, 2 conventional offers. You know what my client was? VA, no. Nobody down, no closing costs. It was $600,000. It was a jumbo VA in El Dorado Hills. I won the deal. Ask me how I won the deal. Somebody say, Brent, how did you beat 3 cash offers and 2 with that VA? No. That is like, I have warts. I have COVID-19 really bad. It's a disease, a VA no. It's really hard to get through. It's the last offer I would ever choose. The VA is a flipping nightmare. I know it's much better, but I can't stand it. So,
hey, Brent, how'd you do that?
Thank you. You're so sweet to ask, Joanna. My clients work for the Navy. He's a Navy guy and his wife, and they had 3 little kids. When we showed the property, we noticed they had a certain type of wine they carried. And he knew the wine. He went to Cordy Brothers and he bought them a Magnum. It's like this big, this tall. And it was like it must have cost him $300 for a bottle because they go, these people like this kind of wine. So he bought a giant one. Then he got a big fruit basket from Cordy Brothers, which is by the pavilions. And it's this big basket of cheese and crackers and fruit and David and Henry's and this amazing freaking basket. And I said, you go buy that bottle of wine. You go, I didn't pay for it. You want this house? We're up against 3 cash offers, 2 conventional offers. And I go, you show up at their house Friday night, and I did not tell you to do this. I will lie and say, nope, I don't know what they're doing over there. You knock on the door and say, we're Bob and we're Katie. And these are our daughters, Alyssa, Jenny, and Amy. And we would be so excited and honored to get this home. And so we just want you to meet us, the Andersons, and we brought you a little gift. They go, oh my God, are you, come in, come in. They were strangers. They invited them into the house. They hung out for an hour and they freaking sealed the deal themselves. The owner goes, I don't get, money's money. I don't care whether it's cash, conventional. And he told his listing agent, what did you do? I don't know what happened. I played dumb. And they went over there with the basket of goodies. That's not fair. You're right. We're not playing fair. You can write offer after offer and suffer like you're in purgatory. You're on a pilgrimage to hell, or you can just figure this thing out and get a little out of the box thinking. Take people, where's your favorite place? I really don't like Napa. Really? Where do you like? I love the Ritz-Carlton Half Moon Bay. Done. I will pay for Saturday night. It's like $1,200 a night. Saturday night on me. You know, no $500 restaurant credit because the Archer's like $300 a night. 2 nights is $600. That's 11. It's the same as one night. You got to know prices. Say, I will pay for you to go to the Ritz. If I get this deal, you're going to the Ritz-Carlton on me. It's your favorite place. That's not nice. I go, you couldn't stop me from doing it. I promise you it's going to happen. And then how many of you would spend, $500, $1,000 to earn 15 to 20,000? Anybody? Or just lose again and again and again and again. It hurts. It hurts. So be generous, be crazy, and it's time to wrap it up. Was this good today? Wave at me if it was good. Was it good? Thumbs up. Megan didn't like it. She didn't wave at me. I'm just teasing you. All right, we're out of here. Anybody want to say anything as we go? Thank you, Alicia. Thank you. Anybody? We good? All right. We will. Oh, by the way, Jen Sambos is here. Jen, tell everyone how much you put in escrow in the last 3 weeks.
You mean closed or put in escrow?
I don't know. Whatever you want to share.
So far in January, I've already closed over 3 million, and I have probably close to 8 million in either listing contracts or in escrow. Somebody's really good. Totally.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to share for 20 minutes next week. I want you to actually talk about, because it's called Fruit on the Tree. And she has fruit on the tree. And I want you to share for 15 to 20 minutes next week some of the things you're doing, because that is that
I did just find out. I just saw a post on Facebook though, so even I screw up. I didn't follow up with the client's mom, and I found out the client went and bought a house and the realtor. I was like, there went Zach's coffee roaster. I was like, sorry, babe. I was like, gotta go work again. Sucks, but it's my own fault. So I learn and grow from it.
So I want you to write down 5 to 7 bullet points of things you're doing that has got you, your level of production is upper 1/10% in the world. That is just off the chart production. And I think we need to hear from you. 15 to 20 minutes next Thursday, 5 to 7 bullet points. If you can squeeze it. Are you doing that thing with Randy Bird next Thursday though?
I am, but we were just doing calls at the end, so I can squeeze in. If you don't mind, I'll come in, yeah, I can sneak off about.
So you want to do the end of my team meeting again?
Yeah, can I come in about 10:30?
Yeah, 10:30, 10:40, and then we'll have to do the 15 to 20 minutes worth, 5 to 7 points. And you should listen to what she's going to say, just like Barry when he put all those homes in escrow. And he's simple technique, have 10 conversations a day, 330 days, 10 a day times 30. Love you guys. Have a good day. Mwah. See you later. Adios, muchachos.